Welcome to the Rig and Farm YouTube channel. In this video, we'll show you how we got our garden fence deer and bear proof. This is what our fence looked like when we arrived at the property. Our kids were with us, so we brought some things with us to make them more comfortable while we worked. The ground where we wanted to get them set up had tire tracks in it, so we used the tractor and box blade to smooth out a spot for them. Our first task was to install 2 expandable electric fence gates. The original plan was to use 7 of these and not use the metal swinging gate, but that seemed like a huge hassle. Having these 2 will provide the protection for our garden and allow us to get the tractor through if we need to remove them to get in to till or anything else. This diagram was the only form of instructions that came with the system. It was pretty straightforward, so that was fine with us. The first thing we had to do was install both sets of insulators on each wooden post. Luckily, we have the galvanized nails for the other insulators that we installed in the last vlog. There are built-in plastic clips that hold the coil in place. It seemed relatively sturdy, but we ended up replacing them with nails to give them a little more durability in the event that an animal pushes or pulls too hard. The other side uses this piece of metal that is held in the center with the insulator clip. A small bolt and wing nut go on the outer side to attach to your electric wire, and the inner side is where you hook on the gate. Our gate is spaced about 6.5 feet to allow plenty of space for the tractor to fit, and the coil can stretch up to 16 feet. It didn't take long to get both sets installed. Comment below and let us know how you think it looks. We installed these wire tensioners in the last vlog, and once they were tightened, they pulled the wire into the post. We didn't want to decrease the amount of shock to an unwanted intruder, so we removed them and placed them further away from the post to prevent any grounding of the current. Starting with a new longer piece of wire, we wrapped one end around the insulator on the wood post as we did on the opposing wood post the previous day. Once it was secured, the other end was fastened to the tensioner. Much better. Now it was time to grab the spool of wire, attach one end to the tensioner, wind it up a few times, and walk it around the perimeter of the garden. When that strand of wire was connected to the insulator, it was time to connect a small piece of wire to the bolt and make the gate part of the electric current. We used a piece of wire about 8 feet long to connect all 9 strands of wire together. Starting at the top, the wire was looped around to make a few points of contact and pulled down to the next row. This allows the entire system to be connected to just one energizer. We connected our solar-powered energizer in an area that gets full sun and turned it on. Now for the moment of truth. Does it work? This wire's reading about 2,500 volts. And this one is too. Every point around the whole fence reads the same voltage. Is that enough to deter a hungry or curious animal? Well, I tested it out myself, and I'll never do that again. I felt the effect for hours. We still need to brace the 2 wood posts to make them level, but it'll be fine for now. There were a few other issues that needed immediate attention. We found that the bottom strand of wire was laying on a stump that we thought would be lower than the fence. An insulator and a few nails solved that problem. The gate still had large gaps between the bars, and there was almost a foot-long gap between the gate and the wood post. 2 6-foot lengths of 3 feet tall chicken wire filled in the spaces between the bars of the gate. We fastened them with some pieces of wire. It's surprisingly strong and should stop anything trying to get through. We drove a T-post into the ground just behind the gate and secured some 4 feet tall chicken wire. It was stretched and nailed to the wood post. After it was put into place, we snipped off the rest. Now the entrance of our gate is nice and secure. That shorter T-post also acts as a backstop for the gate. We can easily pull that T-post out to get the tractor through at the end of the growing season. Speaking of growing, the gladioli are starting to sprout, and so are the dahlias. Ashley loves dahlias and planted a few more rows of the dahlia tubers while we were there. I dug two 10-feet long trenches in the garden bed, and she spaced the dahlia tubers about 12 inches apart and labeled the different varieties with popsicle sticks that she wrote on with permanent marker. We picked up a pack of 100 sticks at the dollar store, so this is very much a budget-friendly method to keep track of which plant is which. Ashley used a rake to pull the soil on top of the tubers. As shown in a previous vlog, we had 54 cubic yards of flour mix delivered about a month prior to this video being made. We spread it evenly across our garden and tilled it into the clay. Soil amendments were added a week later and tilled in as well. After several days of rain, we tested the soil and got good results. Mixing the delivered soil into the clay has a really great benefit: moisture retention. Planting into a 100% flour mix would have cost at least 3 times as much, and it would have provided too much drainage that required more frequent watering. You can see that despite the hot, dry days we've had, the soil just under the surface still has a lot of moisture. Thank you so much for watching this video. We really appreciate every view and thumbs up we get. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already and follow along to see the progress we make on our farm. Our home on the property should be ready to move into in about 2 months from the posting of this video, and we'll be able to get a lot more livestock once that happens. It'll be great to be able to work on the farm every day without driving 2.5 hours. Comment below and let us know what you think we should add to our farm in the near future. We'd love to get your input. Thanks again for joining us on our journey, and we'll see you next time!